Hey guys, I got some new tires in. These are the Kenda KD1 racing scooter tires for my little mini bike. So the reason why I'm making this video, I looked around a lot, I did a lot of searching. I couldn't find any information on these tires. I mean, nobody's really left a lot of reviews on them, but I guess they're still new tires. I did see one video on YouTube where the guy talked about these tires, comparing them to his TT tires, the thread and stuff like that. But other than his video, there was no other like information on these videos. So this video is going to be more of an overview instead of a review. I just got these in. I haven't installed it yet. I haven't even put any miles on them, so I can't really review them. But I just want to talk or just show a little bit more of these tires for anybody who's interested in getting these tires. So these are the Kenda KD1 tires. Once again, guys, if you guys are wondering, they're available in a few different sizes. And there's front tires and the rear tires. If you guys are wondering, I got the 120 70 12 for the front tire and the 130 70 12 for the rear tire. Same exact tire specs as the stock tires that comes with this bike. It comes with this bike. These are DOT approved, so you can see it's got the DOT stamp on here. Just give you guys a closer look. It's got the QC stamp also. This is the load and the speed. It's a 51L for the front, and the rear is going to be a 56L. That's just going to be how much weight these tires can handle, and the L is going to be the L speed rating. If I remember correctly, it's about 68 miles an hour max speed, and my bike actually goes a lot faster now with the ZS190, so I will be exceeding the max speed, but I'm not exactly sure how these tires are going to hold up. I don't think there'll be any issues. I'm only going a little bit quicker than what this max speed is, so I think that it tops out about 75-80 miles an hour now. But yeah, you can see the rotation pattern on here. It's got the front, and then we see it says front wheel use only if you get the front tire. There is a difference on the thread pattern, so these are both spinning counterclockwise looking from the left, so pretty much this is how it's gonna be mounted onto the bike. Standard thread pattern, reverse thread pattern. The front tires should have a reverse thread pattern if you're riding where it's wet. The reason why is because from my research, from what I've looked up, is when you're going to a turn, right, your bike would be, let's say you're turning left, the front tire is actually going to counter steer and go to the right. So by having the reverse thread pattern, it's going to help the water siphon out, giving you better traction instead of having the water get channeled down the middle or on the side of the tires and causing you to lose traction when you need it. So it's very important. I know my larger bike, my 2016 ZX6R, the front tire has the reverse thread pattern. So I think it's very important if you're riding where it's gonna be wet, water on the road. I live out here in California, so I mean it's never really raining. It is cloudy, but don't worry about the clouds. The water never falls down to the ground anyways. And I don't plan on riding when it's wet. But if you're living in a state that rains often, you may want to think about it and maybe invest in tires that works better in the rain. Initially, before I bought these tires, I called City Garage. I looked at it online trying to buy these tires, and Drill Sports, Steady Garage, and the Man in the Box, they had these tires, but they don't really specifically says if the 120, because they have the 120 on their website, but they don't say if the 120 was for the front or the rear. I called Steady Garage, and it said that you can use the 120 rear onto the front tire. It shouldn't really matter. It's going to work just the same. But since my larger bike, the stock tires had the reverse thread pattern, I'm going to stick with that route. But, your call, guys, whatever you guys want to do, just factor in wet weather and stuff like that. So here's a thread pattern you guys can see. Looks pretty cool. It kind of tapers out a little bit here. It's got a cool little design. Yeah, here's the design on the tires. I mean, just the sidewall. It's got the little checkered flag if you guys are wanting to see, more on these tires. So these tires do run a size wider than what they're rated for. So the front tires are 120s. The 120s actually are about 130 when you measure them. I put my calipers away, but when you measure them, they're actually about 130 wide. So if you have a particular aftermarket setup with fenders or something like that, you may want to see if your tire will fit your front fender or rear if you have aftermarket ones. I know that's going to be important for some of the guys who has aftermarket parts. You can see here. So to give you guys an idea of how wide these tires are, the stock tires on the bike that's right on the bike right now, currently mounted, that's a 130. Here's a 120 front tire. It's about the same width. The 130 is wider, so you can see, let me just line it up on one side. It's really hard to see in the camera, but you can see it runs about 10 millimeters wider, so it is wider. Now these tires are not mounted onto the bike yet, so some of you guys may say, well, they're not mounted, so it's going to look wider. But I did talk to a guy on the Facebook group, and he did confirm that these tires do run one size wider. So you guys may want to keep in mind, because some guys may say, well, once you mount it, this tire is going to stretch out and it should become narrow. But I don't think that's the fact. But just to give you guys an idea, if you guys are wondering, will these tires, since these tires are wider, will they fit my particular rim? Right? Will they fit the rim? Well, here's my look at it. Looking at these tires right here, just closer look, my observation. When these tires are mounted, they pretty much go straight up like a wall, right? I mean, it does curve out a little bit, but just to make things a lot easier to see in this video, because the camera can't really pick it up. Think of it as these tires pretty much go straight up as a wall. On the Kenda tires, here's the bead. The tire actually cones out. It flares out a little bit. So instead of going straight up, it kind of flares out, and that's probably why these tires are wider. Now, why is that like this? I can't really give you guys an explanation. I'm not the engineer. I'm not part of Kenda's R&D department on how they came up with these tires for being a little bit wider. But since these, I guess these were like, the racing scooter tires, maybe they did it for a few particular reasons. But once again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional racer, so I can't provide you guys with that useful information. But just want to point out that these tires do run a size wider than the stock tires. These are actually soft, soft and sticky tires. You can see I put my finger on here. I can easily push down. I think it's the same compound all the way around. Seems like the side's a little bit softer, and it gets a little bit harder in the middle. But I could be wrong. It does feel soft here, and it does feel a little bit stiffer here. Now I'm not sure if it's like a 2-ply or 3 or different thread compounds like some tires, but it may be the same compound all the way around. I'm not sure. And these are the Chinese tires. Stiff. So I mean, if you're a guy who commutes a lot, you may want to factor in, do you want a tire that lasts long, or do you want a tire that has better traction, or do you want the best of both worlds? It's probably really hard to find a tire that will last long and provide excellent traction. I know the Michelin Power Peters are stiffer tires, so they should provide better traction than, or sorry, not better traction. They should provide better mileage compared to these Kenda tires. They're about the same price range. So depending on the state that you're riding in, what type of road conditions, and stuff like that, or temperature, weather, if it's wet or dry, cold or warm, tires will play a role in how long they'll last. Now, to be honest, guys, I haven't had any issues with these Chinese tires. For my style of riding, I don't really ride too aggressive. I don't really, lean over and drag my knee. But I do use, a good amount of these tires riding normally. So, I mean, I haven't had any traction issues. These tires grip just fine for my style of riding. But ever since I did the ZS190 swap, I have more power. So, I can accelerate faster. I can, go faster, and I may hit a turn faster. And, since I have aftermarket parts on this bike, I spent a good amount of money buying exhaust, engine, rear sets, shocks, and carbon bits and stuff like that. I figured for $100 I will have better traction, so I think I'll take better traction than getting long life. I'm not a daily commuter guy. I'm just more of a weekend rider, like a lot of people. So yeah, I mean, for the price, I really can't complain. You can still see my fingernail marks are still on here. That's how soft these tires are. I know some tires, like the larger bikes, have like different compounds. That I'm not sure. Maybe you can call Kenda and ask. But yeah, this video is getting way too long just for an overview video, so I want to end it there. Oh, also, there's a stamp to show you the weight when you're mounting these tires on. But yeah, other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.